TIFU by ignoring my vegetarian host. Edit, vegetarian, not vegan. My friend and I, both freshly 18 years old, saved up for a few years to travel the world. We started with Canada, where we first stayed with my friend's cousins to save on costs early in the trip. One of the first things we were told by the wife, let's call her Linda, as she was driving us from the airport to her home, was that her husband was a hardcore vegan. We mustn't bring up the subject, and we must definitely not ever eat or bring meat into the house, as it would upset him. Easy, no meat. How many meals need meat anyway? We're only staying here for a month. My friend and I were both into fitness and got into a good exercise routine during our first weeks in Canada, walking, running, calisthenics, etc., which made us very hungry. We were also quite aware that exercise benefits from a high protein intake, but the only meals we had eaten mainly consisted of pasta, cheese, and potatoes. We felt a bit malnourished and thought our hard work was going to waste. One morning, our hosts told us they would be out for the whole day. Initially, it wouldn't make a difference to our plans, as we would likely explore the local area some more anyway. That afternoon, while on a stroll, I had the brilliant idea to reward our bodies with some source of protein instead of the usual cheesy pasta. Since the hosts were out, they would never suspect a thing. My friend agreed, and we went to the nearest supermarket and bought a few tins of tuna to add to the cheesy pasta. We returned to the house, and I made the meal, which hit the spot and filled the gap we felt had been missing in our diet for weeks. After washing up, we relaxed around the house. When our hosts returned, my friend and I were sitting in a dimmed room when I saw a shadow in the doorway. "Have you been consuming dead animals in my home?" a stern voice said. How could he know? I made sure to clean everything meticulously. I panicked, and my first instinct was to lie. No, I said calmly, starting to notice my heartbeat thumping in my ears. Then why does my home smell like corpses? I broke down and admitted I added tuna to our meal. He shook his head and stormed upstairs. I'd like to remind you that we were two young, well-meaning lads trying to make a good impression, and this confrontation hit us harder than it would have otherwise. My friend and I looked at each other, shocked and unsure of what to do now. The husband wasn't the most approachable man at the best of times, especially after we broke his #1 house rule. After about an hour of contemplation, we nervously knocked on his bedroom door. My friend explained the situation for us, which I thought was fair at the time. However, I now realize I should have taken responsibility since it was my idea. The husband stayed quiet, but his wife was also in the room, comforting him. We went to bed that night not knowing if we would be leaving the next morning, despite not having booked anywhere to stay for another 2 weeks. The next morning, we were greeted with a piece of A4 paper slid under our bedroom door. Confused, we picked it up. It was a full-page letter from our host, detailing the rules of staying at people's houses, how you should act, and that your presence should be a gift in return for staying there. It stated that you should always, whether you agree with them or not, follow the rules of that household. We were relieved there was no mention of us having to leave. These were wise words, and I eventually took them to heart, despite feeling rebellious at the time. We continued our travels for 8 months and returned to our home country of Scotland, more mature for it. The end. TLDR, my friend and I ate meat at our vegetarian host's house while traveling and were confronted and nearly kicked out.
If you liked this video, make sure you hit the like button and comment down below your thoughts. Also don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos like this.